Now, what about for somebody who's just releasing their first CD? Is there any specific advice that you'd give them?
Don't expect any favors. You got to earn it. You got to work it. If you get some favors, that's great, but you're going to basically have to earn everything that you're going to expect. So if you're trying to get radio play, if you're trying to get booked at clubs after your CD gets released, you're going to have to work for that, and you're going to have the chops and the product to back it up. You have to call the clubs and the radio stations, and when you're tired of doing all that hard work and you think you can't go anymore, then you got to dig down deeper and make another couple of phone calls. But this is your music. Nobody is going to work it like you are. Nobody cares as much about your project and your music as you do. And so you're the only one or the best person to really work this. And then as far as the CD itself, don't skimp on the sound, don't skimp on the packaging. If you look at the overall cost, and we run into this all the time, customers want to make CDs with us, or musicians want to make CDs with us, and they say, well, I can buy it with competitor A for $100 less. And if you look at the overall budget for an independent production, I don't know what you would consider, David, a typical recording budget for an independent production anymore nowadays. $5,000, $10,000. If you look at $5,000 or $10,000, let's say $5,000, $6,000 to the low end there, which is if you go to a studio and you're paying somebody, it doesn't take very long to pay them $5,000 or $6,000. Or, by the way, if you're building your home studio, obviously you're going to have that invested in your gear very quickly. If you look at that, plus you look at getting your project mastered, which can range from $400 to a couple $1,000, and you look at the cost of making 1,000 CDs, which is $1,200 to $1,800, and you look at the cost of maybe a graphic designer for several $100. Before you know it, you're spending $10,000 on your project, all in, easy. And so to look to skimp $100 on the manufacturing because you can get it cheaper somewhere, or if you're looking to save on mastering and not doing post-production mastering, saving $300-400, it's such a big mistake because in the overall cost of the project, it's 2-3-4%. But the difference between having your bass player's cousin do your graphic design and having a professional do it is night and day. And the difference between an unmastered project and having a professional mastering engineer listen to it and give it just that little extra bit of oomph or that little extra bit of level or high end or bass or whatever it needs, and getting that extra set of ears listening to your project, that will pay off in spades. Spending a little bit extra there or not skimping there. You can save money in many, many smart ways, but don't save it by cutting into muscle, because to use a cliche, you only have one chance to make that first impression. Somebody listens to your song on the radio or they see your CD in a bin. That first impression is frequently the only impression you get until the buyer decides, I'm going to buy this, or I'm going to pass.